All right. So when it comes to like comic book crossovers, I'm really picky, especially when it comes to my kaiju's like Godzilla and Kong. And while I was very underwhelmed from a story standpoint of the Power Rangers Godzilla crossover, the artwork and the covers were amazing. By the way, loved the art. Like that is what kept me reading it. But today I'm reviewing Godzilla. Oh, okay, my autofocus is messing with it. There we go. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I had to get the Jim Lee variant. Obviously, we had like a mecha Batman facing off with Godzilla, and I thought this was gonna be just like a cash grab. And before I get into the story and everything else, I have to say there are sound effects roaring versions, but those aren't dropping until November 14th. They have one that's for Godzilla, one for Kong, and they're going to be, I believe, 14.99. You can actually pre-order them right now at Midtown Comics, and you get 20% off. They'll be 11.99. So obviously the Kong one, you open it up, it's like when you get the greeting cards that make like the music and sound effects when you open them. It's basically that. I had to pre-order those. I had to get those. Um, my comic shop, when I put this on my pull list about 2 months ago, because I think there was a page ad for it at the back of Green Arrow #1 or #2, and I was like, add this to my list. I was like, also there's sound effect versions. Um, I was I don't know which ones they're gonna do. I want all of them. So there's two of them. So those will be coming out in November. I'm excited to get those. I'll probably do a YouTube short for those ones. But uh yeah, so we had Godzilla like crossover. Like I thought this was gonna be like, you know, gonna be a cash grab. Obviously they got me with the kaiju's. I don't pull anyone who knows me, I don't pull Justice League. I haven't since New 52s, and even before New 52, I only read Justice League if it was like in like Brightest Day or Blackest Night stuff. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of Justice League from a comic standpoint. I watch the show obviously, but I don't pull a lot of DC in general. Um Lately I have been though, if you've seen my reviews or my podcast. But this was really good. And I have to say, the writer was Brian, was it Busalato, with Christian Deuce or Dose, Deuce as the artist. Artwork is good. I will say I really enjoyed a lot of the dynamics in this issue. So the main gist of the story, because there's spoilers, so I could talk about it. I got to spoil it a bit for you. So we start off with Clark and Lois at the top of a building having a romantic dinner. It turns out that's where they first met, and uh, Clark's going to be proposing. And as this is going on, Godzilla shows up and is starting to destroy the city. And then we get a like 12 hours earlier type flashback, and I was like, cool, give me some explanation. I was not expecting this to revolve around, was it the Legion of Doom? Like, I didn't think that was gonna be the thing. Like, especially having like the was it not the Tinker, the I'm bad with villain names. The toy one, um, Toy Maker maybe. I'm trying to see if I have any notes. I didn't take too much notes on this, um, but I was kind of not expecting that. It's Toyman. Um, because when you got Lex Luthor and like Cheetah and everything else, like you expect those to be like in Grodd, like, but the fact that Toyman and Grodd were kind of at the forefront of most of the stuff revolving on this. So basically, they're Lex Luthor's whole scheme is he found the Fortress of Solitude. They're getting the Mother Box. They want to use the Mother Box to build a device and basically trap the Justice League in like the Phantom Zone. And I was like, okay, cut and dry, whatever. I feel like the Legion of Doom isn't like they're not gonna be the main oomph in this. This is gonna be Godzilla and Kong. But how do they explain this happening? And I one thing I will say about Justice League, I love the dynamic between Barry Allen and Hal Jordan. That's always been my favorite. I like comedic duos like that, which is why I like Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. stuff like that. That always carries, especially when you get the fact that the whole entire leading up to everything is everyone kind of being like, "Hey, Clark, go on your first vacation. Go propose to her." You got Hal Jordan basically being like, "You sure you want to do this?" Like he's the one who's like almost not trying to convince Clark not to propose, but he's kind of like the anti, like, why you get married type thing. And while everyone else is like congratulating him and be like, "Oh yeah, it's about time," and he's just like, "You sure?" Like even Bruce Wayne makes an appearance and talking to Clark, and he wasn't trying to convince him not to an extent. You know, I thought those were nice elements, like a break from kind of giving us some character to this instead of, hey, here's the Justice League, because it was kind of like my thing is with crossovers. Like I said, there's Power Rangers and Godzilla as a crossover, but there's also a Justice League Power Rangers crossover, which was not good, and I didn't really like the artwork either, so that kind of like took me out of it. I mean, I have it obviously because I'm a collector, um, but yeah, no, it was. I do so. They go to the fortress. I do like that Supergirl is kind of filling in for Superman while he's going on vacation. So that was a nice touch. And then everyone's battling in the Fortress of Solitude, and we get the mother box gets hit. They get teleported to another universe as my phone goes off, as usual. And it turns out they are on Skull Island. And one of the things I like is, like I said, Toyman and Grodd got more shine in this because Grodd is like, "Where are we?" And he sees Kong, and he's like, this is a god to him, you know. And Toyman is, you know, constantly coming up with ideas, and he's like, "Hey, why don't we bring these monsters and have them fight Just League?" And Lex Luthor all the time is so dismissive of Toyman, because Lex Luthor, he's a smart one. He's like, Toyman's a joke to him, when he go play with your toys. But I guess Toyman took this red, and I'm not familiar with a lot of the items that Superman has collected in the Fortress of Solitude. He has this weird red gem, and he's like, he's making a wish. Like, he's like, "I wish, they would see how good my idea is of having these monsters show up." And by doing this, it granted his wish, which led to Godzilla showing up in, you know, Metropolis. The favorite thing is they were looking at this TV, these monitors, and you see Godzilla. He's like, "I like that toy. That's the toy I want to play with." Basically like that. And I'm like, man, what are you thinking of? Like, what is going on over here? Like, and I don't know. I believe this is a 7-issue run, which is a good number, especially when the first issue is really setting up everything. Um, like I said, the coloring, the artwork is what got me. But I do like that because he wanted to. Godzilla was a toy he wanted to play with, and he made a wish. That's what happened. Another cool thing is like Grodd actually communicating with Kong and talking to him. I was like, this is really good. Them figuring out what island where they work. So like, this looks like a map, except for this right here. This island isn't on our world, and they're trying to like, which one? Well, where are we? And they said, and they obviously Skull Island, and they even said Skull Island. I'm hoping there's not too much, Legion in this. I hope it's because I don't. I feel like they're gonna take elements where it's literally gonna be, uh, Kong and Godzilla fighting each other, Justice League kind of thrown in the middle. I really hope that's how it's going to be. Um, and because we have so many villains in here. I mean, we have Black Manta, Captain Cold, Cheetah, Giganta, Grodd, Lex Luthor, and Toyman. So it's like there's a lot there, and I know it's because it's uh, the Legion, and we have Justice League. I was like, I just hope it's not too much of them, and we do get more. Because I was like, realistically, when you think about it, Superman should be able to stop Godzilla and Kong. Titano being in it was really cool because it kind of set up, you know, uh, Superman basically defeating him in the beginning. Because it's like already like, okay, well, he'd just be a robot giant ape. So I was like, that's cool. Tying like Titano might come back. I don't know. Like, there's so many things to this, and I don't know where they're gonna go with it. And I really enjoyed this comic. It's fun. It like I said, I thought this was gonna be a cash grab. I thought this was gonna be one of those soulless freaking okay. Here's Godzilla and Kong. Enjoy. Give us your money. But that's not the case at all. Like this is like really good, and man, I need those other covers. There's a lot of covers. Like I said, like the um the Drew Johnson has a wraparound one that was really cool. Uh, there was the Jim Lee, obviously, and Scott Williams. I had to get that, and that's a cardstock cover, so it's actually harder. Like it's like better, you know, than the regular floppy ones. I've been getting a lot of cardstock covers from DC lately. There's a great one from Francesco Mattina. Dude, the covers are so good. Obviously, we have the blank cover. I don't know if I kind of got out of blank ones. We got our usual foil, but uh, the only one I wish I could have found because I'm a huge fan is the Dan Mora one. Like that's the one I didn't get. Like I wish, but that was the one of the incentive covers. I think it was the 1 in 25. So my shop already had it gone. The 1 in 50 looks amazing, and then obviously there's the Jim Lee black and white cardstock version of this one. That's the 1 in 120, and I'm not getting that. That thing's like 100 and over $100, and I was like, damn. Like if I wanted to spend the money, I would pick it up and then I would try and get it signed at a Comic Con and go get it CGC signature graded, but that's not happening. Nope. So yeah, that's it for Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong issue number 1. I really enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Justice League, pick it up. If you're a fan of Godzilla, Kong, Kaiju's, and not big on Justice League, pick it up. It's really good. Like I said, I'm not a big Justice League fan, and I really enjoyed this comic. It's worth a read. Definitely pick it up. But that's it for me. That's it for issue 1 of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Let me know in the comments below. What have you pulled lately? What are you reading? Give me some suggestions. I always take my suggestions seriously, and I usually pick up those comics and read them. I have some other reviews coming up for Radiant Black 26 and 26.5. Also, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. Let me find it in my big stack of comics right here. We actually got, oh man, it's all the way at the bottom, isn't it? It is at the bottom. We actually got a Saint Seiya comic from Ablaze, and I'm going to be checking that out and reviewing that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for more comic book reviews and news, as well as other videos that I do, which is like Toku and toy related. I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.